some of my relatives, yung mga babae, the women, were asking me, even from the States, the residents of the United States, why did you have to include the relationship between Delima and her driver? Now, the crux of the matter is, if I do not talk about that relationship with Delima to her driver, then there is no topic to talk about. Because what is really very crucial there is the fact that because of that relationship with her driver, which I termed immoral because the driver has a family and a wife, that connection gave rise to the corruption of what was happening inside the National Penitentiary. Kaya nga nagkaroon ng special privileges. Are you not surprised that during her term and for a longer period, when she became the Secretary of Justice, there were special privileges granted to almost all inmates. There were guns there inside. There were parties being held almost every night. There was a combo, a musical group. Liquors and alcoholic drinks flowed freely, and women went inside and out the prison. Now, if I do not mention the connect between the senator, who was then a Secretary of Justice, and a driver, how would you now explain? How would now I explain to the public that these things happened, the partying, drugs, and even cooking shabu went well, unbridled, unhampered because of the driver himself? Would you think that a driver of a Department of Justice employee could have allowed these things by all on himself? These illegal things which you saw on TV almost every day for about a month? Do you think that without Delima giving him the authority to allow the inmates to do that, all of this could have only happened if there was the go signal from the head of the department, which is the secretary. Barlaan, is that his name? Yeah, Barlaan. He was also one of the bagman. He was also, there's another fellow there. Undersecretary, all of these things happened under your nose, and shabu was floating inside, and it was being, and what was really painful, and that's the reason why we knew, and I know, because they were trafficking shabu from the inside. Were it not for that authority, these cell phones and everything else, the guns, could not have happened. Now, I am now warning everybody connected with the Bureau of Prisons in Muntinlupa. All the guards there and the supervisors. Because if you do not tell the truth before any committee of any governmental body, be it the Senate or the House of Representatives, be prepared to be charged. For what? That is serious negligence of duty. If not, I hope it is not that you were in conspiracy with the prisoners. You were there for almost all the time that these things happened. Do you mean to say that you did not report it to your superiors? Or you allowed these things to happen by yourself, only your authority and nobody else's? Then be prepared to be investigated. Because I will charge you for negligence of duty or under the revised penal code for conspiring with these guys to precisely act the way they behave there inside the prison. It could not have happened without your connivance. It could only mean conspiracy. Now, if you are not ready to tell the truth, I said, be ready to be ousted. You're all invited in the meantime to go to Basilan and find your places there and in Hulo. You're going there. Kayong lahat, I will be assigning you there. In the meantime that we are now waiting for the House of Representatives, which is also conducting its own inquiry. I urge DeLima to proceed with the investigation. And I would like to invite, there's somebody, sir, who told me there was this UN expert that Duterte is not doing enough. To come to the Philippines, have a conference to me in public. You can ask your questions, all that you want to know. But allow me to ask you also. You seem to be characterized as a UN expert. Fine. I'm just a simple trial lawyer. So why don't you come here and let's talk about what you are talking about. Extrajudicial killing, I will do the explanation in public for international release if you want. For the things that really happened during the criminals and the police in operations, punitive operations, police action, I am willing to answer all of them. And I said, I assume full responsibility for what happened because I was the one who ordered it. Now, my instructions at the very first day of my term was that go out and hunt for these criminals. Arrest them if they surrender peacefully. But if they put up a violent stand, then you just have to kill him. Because I do not want people in government dying needlessly for doing his work. Well, you will then be leaving behind a family and children. Now, remember today, we lost another policeman. On the average, on the national scheme, we lose about on the average, 2-3 police officers killed in drug operations. Now, I want the law expert to come here and to count the numbers of deaths also incurred by government with his fingers to guide him how many deaths were caused. For the extrajudicial killing, they say, it's not the work of the police to be wrapping people with plastics and putting it in the bag. That is not the job of the police. I just told him that one bullet will do. Why do you have to wrap it? Waste your time. That is not. But we know at the start what we planted the intrigues there. I am just as, not really. I've learned a lot during my prosecution days. We planted evidence. We arrested persons, but we released them. But telling him that it was this person who squealed on him. And then when he goes out but killing, then we said that it was this fellow who really did it, who did you in. We first planted the intrigues so that we would know where they were, from where they came from. It was not until I was the favorite whipping boy of DeLima. She was for the longest time chairman of the Commission on Appointments, Philippines Republic. She was yakking, she never proved anything. When she became Secretary of Justice, she was yakking, accusing me. But she never also initiated any complaint, any accusation anywhere. She just simply love talking in front of cameras and microphones. Now, she's conducting an investigation against, in the matter of judicial killings. And then she had the goal again to mention my name, Mayor Duterte, that's what I call me. My appellation is really Mayor. That's my nickname, so you call me Mayor. Do not call me President. I'm not used to it. I've been Mayor for 23 years, just call me Mayor. I said, Mr. President Duterte, follow me as I start my probe. Good. Then we will have to include all. Your driver, all of the employees, Barlaan, and may I ask you, the name of the house in Pangasinan was named under the title was named in favor of and under the sister of your driver. Where did she get the money? Tell me. Where did your driver get the money to build such a good house? Can you show me their income? What's their business? And what is the wealth of your driver? He was the only one residing there all the time. And you, Senator Delima, went there so many times. First during the house blessings, and on weekends you were with your driver. And everybody knows. The Department of Justice employees know about it. When you were the secretary of, or the chairman of the commission appointments, everybody in that agency knew about it. As if you're the only one. You know, why I called for this conference is just to disabuse the minds of the many women criticizing me. I said I have to mention the connect between Delima's driver and her. Otherwise, I'd look stupid. Why would the inmates obey a driver on the mere approval of a driver? Para kang gago. So, that is one round. Wait until we present these guys. They can maybe deny it initially, but you know, there are a lot of ways of doing it. Allow me to ask you 7 questions, and I would get the truth from your mouth. I am not saying I'm the best, but 10 years as a prosecutor was a learning process of arriving at truths. People were being framed at the airports with bullets placed inside their bags, being arrested, investigated for no reason at all, except at the greed of those. I said, I've been, you know, my mouth is, they say, lousy. But I would like to issue a warning that on Monday, I would declare all positions in the government that were presidential appointments. Or if you are there because of the presidential appointments, I will declare all your positions all throughout the country vacant. You know why? Until now, in my provincial visits, I still hear corruption being committed by people, especially in the regulatory agencies. I would like to point out one. The LFTRB, LTFRB, the regulation board, LTFRB. I forgot his name, but come to me and see me in Malacanang. The LTO and those who are appointed to the positions of LTO, except the career, consider your positions vacant as of this hour. All of them. Lahat. It will number in thousands. Consider yourself in the crucible of the truth about corruption in this country. I hate it. I do not want to give the slightest headache to my fellow human being. For Delima, farthest from my mind is to derogate your person. But I have to mention your relationship because it was your driver who was in contact with the rest of the guys there inside the prison. And eventually, Senator Delima, it was your greed and your immorality that did you in. Hindi mo na matago yan. It's all loose. I think it's beyond your control already. People are willing. Even the employees of that penitentiary, SAF took it over. It's now under the police. But remember this, when we start to ask question, you better tell us the truth, or else I will charge you all, superintendents, wardens, supervisors, a case of conspiracy to commit a serious wrong, or at the very least, seriously neglecting your duty. The Napoles case should deserve a second look. For us also, it involves corruption and dilemma. Any question? Yes, Bigornia.
Morning, sir.
You are the top notcher, always the first to raise your hands. You must be good at the exercise of doing it. Go ahead.
Sir, Delima had a press conference yesterday and she said that she's willing to resign and be shot in front of you if your allegations are true. She said all your evidence are fake, false, manufactured, and perjured.
Same here. I said, I'm putting at stake. At the start of my term, I said, I'm willing to put at stake my honor, my life, and the presidency itself. Nauna na ako. I'd be willing to go. I said, go ahead, change me. I've been telling the congressman, if I'm lying, we had a conference there for some time. I said, you can impeach me. She is lying to her teeth because now that she is, you know, in all of her answers, she was only telling about drugs. Now she denied their links about drugs, but she never said true or false about the driver. And the driver is the connect. Lahat naman sa loob, sinasabi ang driver. Driver said, I have the permission of the top honcho. So that is why. Now tell me, Delima, when I testified in the Senate 2 years ago about the rice smuggling of the city and at the behest of the BIR Commissioner Kim Inares, and I said, Rudy and Nicole, please help us in finding out who's behind this rice smuggling. I did. I never went. I do not go to inside. They are being operated independently of the local governments. But I did my work, and it was not until all of the agencies never knew Bangayan, from the Philippine Ports Authority to the Philippine Maritime Police to the Coast Guard. Nobody knew the idiot until I went inside the intelligence community and asked for a picture. And I said, do not
with me. Give me the picture of this Bangayan. And that is why I exhibited. When Enrile said, do you know this Bangayan? Yes. Can you identify him? Yes, he's that idiot that. And when I said, what will you do if you find Bangayan doing smuggling in your city? And I answered, I'll shoot him. I'm dead serious. If you do it again there, I'll shoot him. You steal 7 billion of the money of the people of the Republic of the Philippines, and you think you can be alive forever? I will take the cudgels. God, do not do it. I will never allow you to steal 7 billion of your taxes of the people. Sinabi ko. Then Jingo Estrada said, ano sinabi niya? It was really in sarcasm. And I said, well, I'll give you an answer you want to hear. Patayin ko yan. I'll kill him. And so when we went outside the Senate halls at the determination of the hearing, Delima, whenever she is faces with the microphone on TV cameras, she changes the aura. Nag-iiba yung anyo. She becomes combative, and he said Duterte should be punished for Duterte should be sued for making a threat against the life of a resource person there. Forgetting, even as he's a lawyer, forgetting that nobody can question my behavior inside a Senate during a hearing. For it is only the Senate who can question me of what I do, of what I did, of what I'll be doing, because that is an affront of the Senate itself as a collegial body, not an outsider, even if you are the Secretary of Justice. Delima, I thought, was bright because she's a Secretary of Justice. But I realized that, I said, her aura changes from a Jekyll and Hyde thing. Forgetting the fundamentals of law. And out of respect, because you are now suggesting to the Senate to punish me. That is one implication. Second is implication, she cannot do it because she is not a member of the Senate. So she cannot sue me. But that shows that how bright the dilemma is.
Okay.
And again, I left an answer that I made that gamble when I was, and I said to the congressman, impeach me if I'm wrong, impeach me if I'm lying. But Delima has to face this answer. She can remain the senator of the Republic of the Philippines, but she has to explain why she is not answering now her relationship with the driver, because that driver was the one who worked it out inside the penitentiary to allow these prisoners to have all of these privileges, cooking shabu, opening the gates for female guests to come in. There was a partying, there was a raid, there were guns, and at one time, the guards could only enter upon the permission given by the inmates.